The first question we should ask is the situation in China. It's, look at this horror. It's horror, horrible. And how can China even think about starting a war at this time? So to understand that, it is doing many things, okay, that is provoking uh, the world, whether it is Hong Kong, whether it is Taiwan. It has been doing things that literally means war, because they are going ahead, disregarding many things, borders, international laws, human rights, all kinds of things. So why is that? Is there going to be a war? So to answer that question, you have to ask Chinese who have familiar uh, with the communist regime in China. See, they are expansionists. They are turning smaller countries into banana republics and vassal states, taking over like Nepal, bringing tension to bigger countries. Now, what is actually driving them? Will they really, go for war? That is the million-dollar question here. So, Wu, the long-time activist, explains this.
Even behind every business, there is a party secretary pulling the string. So it's really not a country. It's a huge land, this greater China, with one party, and inside the party, a few families. And then they have 90 million gangsters and 1.4 million basically slaves. That's what the hierarchy is. And Hong Kong is a separate area with freedom. And we are the free Chinese, and they are the slave Chinese. That is the difference. They don't want the free Chinese to survive. They want the free Chinese to live the same way as they do. That's what the law is for.
And I know that it's brave for people to be speaking out right now. One thing that surprised me was after the Chinese Communist Party threatened people with life in prison, you still had a large number of Hong Kong protesters take to the streets. And I know even you yourself, I mean, they could come after you for this, and you're here speaking with me
my
about
family,
it.
they can take my family as a hostage to shut me up. And I was also surprised how many people went to the street on July 1st.
Now, one thing that surprised me, I honestly did not expect the Chinese Communist Party to do something so overt, to do something so in the light, plain as day, making it clear basically that everything the Hong Kong people were afraid was going to happen has in fact happened. They're not trying to hide it. And this surprised me for one main reason, which is that the Chinese Communist Party uses Hong Kong as its basically, business hub to reach the West. It uses it as a free trade hub. And it has now sacrificed that. The U.S. is now looking to end the different kinds of trade benefits that Hong Kong was given. And I'm curious.
Hong Kong's economy and the ability to earn US dollars for them. But in the last few years, Xi Jinping feels that he's threatened. There are so many fractions inside China and outside, threatening his position. So that's why he's willing to sacrifice the Hong Kong economy, the China economy, and also those stolen wealth of those rich families outside, because they may be sanctioned, all these high officials. He's sacrificing all those for his own stay in power. As simple as this. The communists, the way they become, it's very much like a gang family. When their power is threatened, they are willing to sacrifice their own gangsters, or their own people, or even their own family. That's the way it works. Very different from ours. We have an orderly transfer of power. They don't. So the way they grab power, Xi Jinping spent the whole life from beginning of the term to now grabbing power because they feel so insecure. There is no rule how to transfer power. So that's why they're sacrificing everything. They know the whole world is against them. So Hong Kong finished. We're going to be a dead city. And the Chinese economy, nobody wants to buy anything from them. As a result, those wealthy families' money will be all sanctioned and frozen by the US. Sooner or later, it's all happening now.
Now, I'm curious, going forward, what do you see happening to Hong Kong? First off, do you think people are going to actually stop protesting? Do you think that they will be willing to?
Well, another question that he asked was, will there be a war? Uh, that was an interesting answer that he gave.
Donald Trump, with the re-election coming and also with the whole world supporting him, he cannot back down either. So it's going to be escalation, which will lead to war. It could be a currency war, it could be a financial war, and eventually it may even lead to a kinetic war.
And that tell us in your
So
view,
the reason he
why?
is giving is, both can't back down. You see, there have been a lot of casualties on both sides. That is, the pandemic has caused a lot of people to die, economy to suffer. So he says that Donald Trump and the West, some of these countries cannot back down from expecting some change in China, pressurizing reparations, accountability, probe, that manifests itself as a probe, the demand for an international probe. While, on the other hand, Xi Jinping is caught in, between a rock and a high place. If he doesn't resist or stand up and refuse to comply with the demands of the free world, keeping the communist dictatorship intact, its dictatorial unaccountability and authoritarian rule above any question. If he doesn't keep it up, then he will be in danger of being toppled. So we experienced it. We made an appeal for culture, return to culture, such things, and Jimmy suddenly issued statements about culture. Then suddenly this Galwan incident came about, signaling that who is in control are the hardliners. So the hardliners are in control, and Xi Jinping is sort of cannot do anything without the hardliners' approval. And another dimension that Wu has not raised in this important interview is that what will the PLA's position be? So that is most crucial when it comes to understanding, will China make war? Paradoxically, China has to make war because it has to keep the PLA engaged, facing external conflicts rather than the PLA free to participate in an internal power struggle. So one or few of these divisions of the PLA could come after one or the other faction of the power struggle within the CCP. So to avoid that, the PLA as a whole has to be kept engaged on many. That is why many fronts are started, because there are many divisions in the PLA. So we have a Tibetan front, then we have South China Sea front and Eastern front. Recently, just a few days ago, they started an eastern border conflict with Russia, which we have been predicting. So they have to keep it like that so that the PLA is dispersed and engaged with external enemies. But other than that, what this gentleman Wu explains to us about the dynamics of whether there will be a war is wonderful.